Okay. We are bringing the naughty schoolboy to the microphone. Hello, Lord Lindsay Wesker. How are you?
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Lovely to be at my local radio station. I'm very happy to be here.
Why can I not hear you?
Can you hear me now?
Oh, I can hear you now. That's better. Helps if you push the right button, doesn't it, really? You see how the man confuses me? He comes in this station, turns everything upside down. How are you? Let's start again.
I am very, very happy to be at my local radio station. It's lovely to be here at the Beat.
Yeah, he didn't have to make much effort to come in, to be fair.
Literally, it's around the corner from where I live. Literally.
He just rolled down the road and that's it.
Sauntered in.
Does Lindsay saunter?
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say sachet, but... How have you been? How's your weekend going?
Yeah, the weekend's great. Had a great radio show yesterday afternoon on another radio station that shall remain nameless.
Oh, does it have to remain? We all know you. we all know where you come from. It doesn't have to remain nameless. We all know.
And then I was really, really tired, and I got into bed very early, and I slept for 10 hours.
Isn't it lovely to be in bed? I think I'm getting old. I quite look forward to being in bed by 9:30. When I get out of bed, I look forward to going to bed. Exactly. You get out of bed, look at the watch and go, how much longer?
I'm just very busy, so I'm tired, you know.
Exactly. That's the thing. You know, you just got a lot going on.
I do. A lot going on.
So let's hear the Lindsay story. First of all, actually, what I would love you to do is say a happy birthday to Nicoletta, who is celebrating in Malta.
Nicoletta in Malta. Happy birthday. Happy 60th birthday from all of us here at the Beat.
Indeed. Now we can continue.
Okay.
So, the Lindsay story. Growing up, I know you had 2 siblings.
Well, yeah, I got a younger brother and a younger sister, both of whom have passed away.
Yes, I remember.
I have a half-sister. My father had an illegitimate relationship with a Swedish woman. So I have a half-sister who is still alive and living in Stockholm, and she's absolutely wonderful.
Can you see where Lindsay gets his naughty boy tactics from? He's telling me this story with the biggest smile on his face. I'm loving it.
People have illegitimate children.
Absolutely.
We're here in Harlesden, a home of illegitimate children. Come on.
They might not like you saying that. I don't want to be struck off air by Ofcom.
Yeah, I probably haven't gained any friends by saying that.
But then after all, you live here, so that's fine.
I've been in Harlesden 36 years, so it's...
So you're saying that half the children in Harlesden are yours?
It's a bit frisky in Harlesden. It's a bit frisky.
Yes, it is. So growing up, siblings, famous father.
Yeah, famous father. Yeah, I mean, having a famous father is good in a number of ways because it, affords you a fantastic life. And, I got a chance to travel the world with him. So everywhere he went, I went. So, yeah, fantastic upbringing. Lived in a fantastic house, which was pretty much just non-stop stream of creative people just walking through the door.
Because he was a journalist, right?
My father was a playwright.
Yeah. Right.
So in my house, the door would knock and it would be another playwright or an actor or an actress or a director or a producer or a set designer. It would be like,
But just what a phenomenally nurturing environment to come up with for your creativity. And no doubt it was supported and you're encouraged, because a lot of people have that creativity in them, but because they're not in the environment to nurture it, it's almost quashed.
Yeah, I mean, if you've got a father who's a writer and you want to be a writer, you can have these proper writer conversations with your father. He can take your work and read it and make comments on it.
Tear it to pieces, give it back to you.
Literally, tear it to pieces, give it back to you. But he was very encouraging. One of the things that he said, one of the things he liked about my writing is he said, "I love the way you play with words, Lindsay." He said, "You're not conventional. You don't follow any rules when you write. you create words and you just create structure where there isn't structure, and vice versa, and it's great. And so he was very encouraging.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, the beauty of language, it's unparalleled. Because for me, I think, use the words. They're in the dictionary for us all to use. They're the same words, they're available to all of us. So use them.
Definitely.
Use them, but some don't.
So obviously fantastic, nurturing environment, as you say, but also kind of living up to him and kind of following in his footsteps was always going to be difficult.
Yeah.
Because he was taught in school. My wife was taught his play in school. So she read all about me and my family in school.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was quite unnerving for her to...
But also unnerving for you to live up to that with your writing.
Precisely. I mean, when he was coming through in the 60s and 70s, he was a virtual rock star. I mean, he was like, women were literally throwing themselves at him.
Hence the Swedish Daughter.
Hence the Swedish Daughter.
Well, you mentioned it.
No, Elsa is amazing. She's a diplomat. She's amazing.
Oh, you can't get any better than that. They've done pretty well.
Yeah.
So what was your first job in journalism? Because obviously we hear now, your love of writing and words and linguistic skills, which he does use. He's one that I look up to and actually read what he writes on social media. The rest of it, I just scroll through because I'm like, they can't even string this sentence together. But hey, that's another show. What was your first journalistic job?
My first job in music journalism was on a newspaper called Black Echoes.
Can I just take a deep breath? This is one of the reasons why I'm so excited to have him here, apart from the fact that we're friends. But he was somebody that I was reading his stuff as I was growing up and looking up to. Take the mic.
You've really aged me there. So I got a job on Black Echoes. There was a girl writing on Black Echoes. Her name was Stephanie Kalman, and Stephanie Kalman and I went to drama school together. We went to the Anna Scher Children's Theatre together. And when Stephanie left Black Echoes, she said to the editor of Black Echoes, look, don't bother advertising my job. Just give my job to this guy over here. And she knew that I was a complete junkie. I mean, she knew that my very last penny was spent on vinyl. So she knew I could do the job. I could hit the ground running. And yeah, I hit the ground running, and I was able to do the job.
And you see, that's what's the wonderful thing, because you had two things going for you. Your writing skills, which were honed way before that job even came, but also the collection of music. Because what I find is you've been collecting music forever, so you weren't even having to research it.
My first purchase, bought for me by my grandmother on Ridley Road, was This Old Heart of Mine by the Isley Brothers. It was on a black Tamla Motown 7-inch single. Yeah.
And what year was that? Can you remember?
1967.
Yeah, he's got a few years on me. My first purchase was Family Affair in 1971. I want to make that clear.
That's a great song.
But yeah, you're finding that you writing, well, obviously you were writing about new music that was coming out in Black Echoes, but also you had a foundation in music. We come from an era where you had the in-sleeves with all the information.
Absolutely.
And on the back.
Well, where else could you get the information? The only place you could get the information was from newspapers and magazines. We had Melody Maker, we had Sounds, we had NME, we had Black Music and Jazz Review, which was a monthly colour magazine, and obviously we had Black Echoes and Blues and Soul. And I was voraciously, devouring that every day.
Yeah,
all that information, and I still got a lot of that junk in my head.
Well, I have to say that this guy here is one of the people that schooled me in music before we even knew each other, because as I said, I was reading his reviews and his writing and, learning about music that way.
My wife used to read Black Echoes, and she used to see this person called Lindsay Wesker, and she thought Lindsay Wesker was a girl. So she was like, all of her friends were like, who does she think she is?
I love that. They're still saying that now. Here is one of his choices of Shaka Khan. Never Miss the Water. Okay, guys, we are back with the studio bully and naughty boy. Mr. Lindsay Wesker. He's just told me off because I said, I've got so many blues and soul, Black Echoes and Ebony magazines that I'm thinking of getting rid of them. And he literally rapped me over the knuckles saying, are you crazy? I'll have to keep hold of those, I think.
Well, I mean, for me, it's all about history, and I'm a history junkie, and those magazines just contain so much good information.
It's true, and you, as you rightly pointed out, not everything that happened in history can you find on Google.
Definitely not.
You have to live it in real time sometimes, or have the magazines.
I mean, I read things online. And I'm kind of looking at it and going, well, that's not how it went down. I'm looking at it and reading it. It's like, that's not how it went down.
That's the dangerous thing, isn't it? It's that, as you said, who writes the history depends on who's writing it, depends on what's written, or determines what's written.
History is his story.
Yeah, absolutely. So, from Black Echoes, we went to, because I remember you being on a record label.
Yeah, go on.
Was I supposed to mention that?
Yeah, of course. Well, I mean, I was 2 years at Black Echoes, had an amazing time.
Was it only 2 years?
Yeah, just 2 years.
Okay.
Just 2 years.
Well, I can say you made a huge impact in 2 years.
Thank you.
As you still do in life.
Thank you. I mean, Black Echoes was just amazing for so many reasons. It was so nice to hear you play Mr. Mac by the Envisions.
Yeah.
Because, when I joined Black Echoes, this is 1981, and this was such a magical time for British black music. We'd had hit records, we'd had, Hot Chocolate and The Real Thing and Linda Lewis. We had hit records by British black people, but it's like there was no British black music scene. I mean, at that time, Imagination were having hit records, and Beggar and Co. had just had Somebody Help Me Out, and Lynx had just had You're Lying, and Intuition. Junior had just had Mama Used to Say. But it was a fantastic time for British black music, and a lot of these new acts began to come through, and it was just a really fantastic creative time, and it was to do with pirate radio. It was to do with pirate radio, because when I was growing up, there was just one radio station. Radio 1. Radio 1, and that was it. When I was growing up, there was one radio station. And if you were lucky, you could hear Radio Luxembourg.
Well, you had to hang out the window on a Friday night with a hanger.
Literally, these crazy people. I didn't even know where Luxembourg was.
Or there was Radio Caroline as well.
Well, Radio Caroline was kind of...
on a boat, wasn't it?
Well, it came and went. It's like when the UK black music pirates came along, it just... The whole scene just exploded.
It blew
we were able to hear music we'd never heard before.
And music that you would never have been able to hear online or on Radio 1, because they were never going to play Junior and Lynx and all of that,
And for me, the most important thing about that is it allowed... Because when there was just one radio station, the British black music acts had to make commercial music if they wanted to get played.
Which is not what they really wanted to do.
Which is not what they really wanted to do. But once the pirate stations came along...
they could do what they wanted to do.
They could do the kind of black music they wanted to do, and they would get played on pirate radio. So it was a very exciting time.
Because, I mean, some artists did slip through, like Heat Wave. They were played on mainstream. And The Real Thing, they did actually get through. Yeah. But you're right. A lot of them were making music more commercial than they otherwise would have, because it was the only way they would get played. Yeah, But here is another one of his favorite, Atlantic Stars, When Love Calling. He's up to mischief on his phone. What is he doing?
No, there are just people who are contacting me saying that they're listening.
Okay.
Hello to Mark and Carol. Big love to both of you.
Hello, Mark and Carol. You don't know me, but big love to both of you. So tell me about the transition from Black Echoes to the record company, or did anything come between that?
No, well, first of all, when I was at Black Echoes, I got a chance to do my first radio show, which was very exciting. My first ever radio show. It was terrible.
They usually are.
It was shocking. It was appalling. I was stumbling and mumbling. It was terrible. But, you got to start somewhere. So,
absolutely.
So, bless them, Max and Dave from the Mastermind Roadshow got me my first radio show on Invicta Radio,
All right.
Yeah. So my first pirate radio show, it was terrible. And then I went to LWR and I did some shows on LWR. Now, this is kind of before Zach was at LWR. So this is like, there was a white guy there called Johnny Hayward. And Johnny Hayward was the program manager, and he hired me. So I did some shows for them. And then I went up to Shooters Hill, to JFM, and Gordon Mack was there, and Steve Jackson was there.
Right.
And yeah, so I did pirate radio.
And Victor Radio.
Yeah.
Wow, 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 and wow.
And then I was headhunted by WEA Records because I spent a lot of time at WEA because they had so many big acts. So I was in and out of the office all the time interviewing, you know, George Benson and Al Jarreau and Randy Crawford and Shaka Khan and Shalimar. So I was in and out of the WEA office all the time interviewing people. And so the girls at WEA said to me, "Oh, you should come and work here." I was like, what the hell would I do?
What would I do?
What the hell would I do? And they went, "Oh, you should be an A&R man." And I was like, what the hell is an A&R man? I had no idea. But they hired me anyway. And I mean, ironically...
So your role as an A&R man, what were you doing? About turning around in circles in the office going, what am I supposed to do?
Literally, there was nobody told me what I was meant to do. Nobody gave me any guidance.
Really?
Literally, nobody gave me any guidance. There was no induction, nothing. Nobody
So
told
you just
me.
turn up for work?
They assumed I knew what A&R was. So
And you had to pretend you did.
I was meant to sign artists, license records from America, kind of help the artists that were signed to the label with their projects. So, yeah, there was this guy called Stan Campbell, He was the lead singer on the specials, Free Nelson Mandela. There was a tall guy at the front of the stage, Free Nelson Mandela. A guy called Stan Campbell. And he was from Coventry, and they signed him as a solo artist. And it was my job to find him producers and find him songs and help him to make his album. And that's a big part of what A&R is. But I didn't truly understand what A&R was, ironically, until I left the music industry. Until I stopped working for record companies. You know?
Oh, right. So
it was only once I'd left.
A&M came after...
A&M came after WEA.
That, right. Okay, we're going to hear another one of his favourite tracks because he sent me these in advance, you know, bullying me. Anyway, Get Down Tonight, KC and the Sunshine Band. Lesson here. He's going, I don't know that track. And I'm standing there going, really? So where was that? We're educating each other here, which is what it's all about. I have to shout the lovely Paulette Harris-German on the board of directors, I have to say.
Ooh.
So great to have you listening. And we have got more great music and naughty schoolboy chatting after the break. No, I'm sorry. I can't talk over this. I cannot talk over this. It's one of his favorites, Anita Baker, giving you the best that I've got, but I can't talk over it. I'm sorry. Yes, we've only got good things to say about Anita Baker. We love her. So big shout to Aileen Fletcher, Queen of Streets, up there in Scotland. Ah, yes. I hope you're enjoying the show. And Lord Lindsay Wesker having his wicked way with me in the studio.
So many beautiful people listening to the show today. So many. Got to say hello to the party girl. Definitely got to say hello.
Which one is that?
Party girl Barbara Jones.
Oh, well, yes.
She is a dirty stop out. She really is.
Well, I already shouted her at the beginning before you even came in, because if you see the things she was saying about us, outrageous.
And beautiful Tracy Woodson, of course. Got to say hello to her. How are you, Tracy?
Yeah, listen, we're crossing over on people here, you know. We're crossing over here.
They are people of good taste.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, tell me about your time at A&M.
So I then I got headhunted again. I got headhunted by A&M Records. So I went to work at A&M, and yeah, wow, what an exciting time at A&M Records. So they asked me to sign acts, and I signed acts. And they asked me to work on the product on A&M, and the A&M roster was just unbelievable. I mean, it was Atlantic Starr, it was Jeffrey Osborne, it was the Brothers Johnson,
yeah.
It was the big Janet Jackson Control album. You know, it was a very exciting time to be at A&M.
Now, I can remember going into A&M because I was working with an artist called Les Adams. LA Mix.
That's right.
And it was
signed to
A&M. And it was at the end of King's Road, New King's Road, I think it was.
Yep.
And I went in there to get my money. It was like, so I went in there and I remember seeing you, but I didn't know who you were at that time because I'd never seen pictures of you in Black Echo. So, I had no idea that head that I was seeing behind the desk was Lindsay Wesker. I think you gave me a dirty look up and down.
I most certainly did not.
Oh, I was used to it back then. But yes, I remember an artist that I was working with, Les Adams.
May he rest in peace.
May he rest in peace, and his wife Emma. We did 2 singles. Mysteries of Love was one. Coming Back for More was the first one, but I was on the second one.
Coming Back for More was the world premiere sample.
That's right.
Love that tune.
Yeah. So those 2, and then he kind of disappeared.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Les was obviously, a major part of the DMC.
Indeed.
Absolute pioneer in his day.
For real.
Yeah, and then he made great music. It was a good album.
Yeah.
It was a good album. Yeah, the time at A&M was good. But as I said, I learned a colossal amount about A&R having left record companies. So when I was at A&M, I signed artists. I signed really, really good acts. But they had no audience.
Right.
And this is the secret of A&R. If you sign somebody with an audience. Because it's like, if you sign somebody who doesn't have an audience...
Well, I guess if you sign them, because I think there's a quandary there, isn't there? You see the artist and you think, you're really talented, we can build something with you, or you want a ready-made product, as in you're a talented artist and
if you just sign talent, then you've got to build an audience.
Yeah.
And maybe you will be able to build an audience, maybe you won't. The safer option is to sign talented people who already have an audience. And this is what I only worked out having left record companies.
But did you manage to build audiences for those artists?
No.
I didn't have an audience.
No, I signed talented acts and I wasn't able to build an audience for them.
Really?
Yeah, I wasn't able to.
So they just disappeared into the ether?
Yeah.
Because I remember another artist I was working with, playing keyboards for her, Sarah Washington. Yeah?
I remember that name.
Yeah. I don't know where she disappeared to, but hey.
Well, I mean, having been in this industry as long as we have been, we've seen unbelievably talented people come and go.
Yeah. But these aren't going anywhere. The Winans and Heaven. You see, the Winans cannot be interrupted. The Winans cannot be interrupted. Absolutely beautiful. I'm covered in goosebumps with that track, Heaven. Oh, love it. So, Mr. Naughty Boy.
Wait.
Oh, have I got to wait?
We have to go back to Paulette Harris-Sherman.
Okay, hold on. As you can see, who's running the show here. Okay. Well, apparently, I have to go back.
No.
Don't mind me. Don't mind me. Yeah, no.
We have to go back to Paulette Harris-Sherman, who we both love, who is local to us here. She's just round the corner. And she was a part of the board. I mean, she's just sent me a note. She was one of the board of directors.
Correct.
Of the people who founded famous Harlesden pirate radio station, Time FM.
Yeah.
And
she sent me the same message, by the way.
One of my distinct memories of doing promotion at A&M was when I had to do promotion on a certain record. And they said, go to these 3 radio stations. I'm like, where are these 3 radio stations? Anyway, I found them, right? They were all on Harlesden High Street, right?
Okay.
3 radio stations. So I came out of one, walked 10 yards down the road, went back in to another one. There were 3 pirate radio stations on Harlesden High Street.
And how convenient that was for you. I mean, beats having to go to Baker Street and then down to the King's Road. And, yeah.
And that was before I lived in Harlesden.
Oh, right. So not so convenient.
Yeah, so not so convenient, but it was just amazing. Harlesden was just
thriving.
It was the place. It was the place.
Right. Different times.
Yeah. Different times.
Different times indeed. So then we went from A&M.
Yes.
To MTV?
No.
Kiss?
No.
Because there's so much in here.
I'm sorry. In 19...
Guys, can I just tell you, this interview is going to be longer than an hour. I'm just going to keep him here with me. We're going to talk through the whole show and play music in between because we can't cut this story short, okay? I'm just letting you know. All right.
In 1986, I joined Kiss FM. I joined a pirate radio station called Kiss FM.
This had to be after A&M, right?
Yeah, this is after A&M. I joined a pirate radio station called Kiss FM. And kind of around the same time, I began to manage my wife and her sister.
Oh, yes.
So my wife and her sister were a group called Dazzle, and they were signed to a fantastic record label called Jam Today Records. That also had Kenny Stevens and Beverly Skeet, and a fantastic record label. In fact, it was the very first record label that Level 42 were on.
Okay.
So they were signed to Jam Today, formerly Elite Records. Elite became Jam Today. So I managed Dazzle for a few years, and we recorded 2 albums for Jam Today, and that was a very exciting time of my life. For the second album, Claudette became pregnant. Nothing to do with me. Claudette became pregnant. Oh, that's a joke. Claudette became pregnant.
If she's listening, you know you're going to pay for that when you get home. Okay.
She's going to beat me later. Claudette became pregnant, and both Paulette and Claudette were actually pregnant at the same time, so they literally had no energy in their bones to write any songs. So me and Paulette's boyfriend had to write pretty much all of the songs on the second Dazzle album.
Now, can you hear this, guys? We have to add, I thought the list was long enough. Now we have to add songwriter to the list. I guess I'll be running over into the next show up after 5, talking to Lord Lindsay Wesker. Okay.
So that was a very exciting time. And the co-writer, Paulette's boyfriend, the guy I wrote all of those songs for, is actually a very, very famous DJ in this area. People know him as Colonel. You know, Colonel actually works on another radio station.
Okay.
And my wife listens to his show on a Saturday instead of mine. She doesn't really care about me. She listens to his show. His name is DJ Colonel, and, he was one of the co-writers on the Dazzle album. Brilliant songwriter as well. Anyway, so I started at KISS in 1986. It was a pirate radio station. And at a certain point, Gordon turned to me and said, I think we should become legal. How do we become a legal radio station? I was like,
Why are you asking me? You're the boss.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So he turned to me and he went, Lindsay, can you find out how we become a legal radio station? He said, call up the IBA. You've got the poshest voice. Call them up and find out how we become a legal radio station.
So what year was this?
So this is 88.
Because I can remember listening to KISS religiously on a Saturday, Norman J.
Of course.
Yeah.
So KISS was a pirate radio station from 85.
Right.
Went legal in 90, so it was a pirate radio station.
Wow, so it was
5 years.
Pirate for a while.
Yeah, 85. Although in the year of 1989, we were not on air.
Now, I remember you saying this because it was running as a pirate radio station up until 89, and then you decided you had to come off air.
No, the IBA decided we had to come off. The only way we could apply for a legal license was to come off air.
Right.
So we had to be a pirate radio station without broadcasting.
Did you get that silence there, guys? Because I'm looking confused.
We had to try to be KISS FM without broadcasting. So we did a whole number of things. We obviously had lots and lots of KISS club nights. We ran lots and lots of KISS promotions. All of the DJs on KISS obviously had their own club nights, so they were promoting KISS. I created a magazine, which was called Free Magazine, and it was free. We gave it away, advertising paid for it, and all of the DJs were encouraged to write columns and articles in the magazine so they could kind of have a radio show in print.
So go through that again, because I'm confused. How do you have a radio show in print?
Well, I mean, they were talking about the tracks they were playing in clubs.
Okay.
And talking about, their favourite tracks and where they were playing. So they were kind of...
So it's a very clever way of keeping their enthusiasm with what the KISS FM DJs were doing. They would follow them, I guess, to the clubs that they were playing in, and then only waiting for them now to come back on air because they'd already had that history.
And obviously the magazine was promotion for the campaign. So we were asking people to write letters of support, because the IBA had said to us, number one, you must provide us with evidence that there is a need for your radio station. Prove to us that London actually needs you. So we had to prove there was a need for us. And having proved that there was a need for us, then they announced they were launching new radio stations in the London area. So they said, yes, we're announcing 2 brand new FM radio stations in London. So we thought, wow, this is it. You know, they've announced they're launching these stations. We will apply and we'll get the license. They didn't give us the license. They gave one license to Jazz FM and they gave another license to a kind of AOR station. What were they called? They weren't called Smooth. They were called something else. It was like a very Radio 2 type radio station.
Okay. So
we had to keep promoting.
It just sounds like an impossible task, but clearly not impossible because you did it. What an example of inspiration, because it's like when you're faced with something that seems impossible, persevere. You never know. You might do it, you might fail, but you won't know unless you keep persevering.
It was our dream. It was our dream to broadcast live and legal, so we had to keep pushing.
Absolutely.
We had to keep pushing.
It makes all the difference being legal, you know, in many ways. Here are the Jacksons with Give It Up. One of my all-time favorite Jackson tracks, and Mr. Wesker's apparently as well.
Love it.
I was really glad when he sent me this track, I have to say.
Love it.
You know, when a track is written and everything is in the right place, exactly where it should be, this is one of those.
Definitely.
Janice Birch, lovely to have you listening. So from Kiss FM, tell me, sir.
Well, then I went back to record companies.
Did you go back to A&M?
No. A&M was
way before that.
Before that. So I did three independent labels. I did a Japanese independent label called Avex. I did an Australian indie label called Mushroom. I did a very, very English independent record label called ZTT. And yeah, they were all 3 of those jobs was just so interesting. Really, really interesting for a wide variety of reasons.
I'm sure.
As explained in the book.
But yeah, we're going to get to that. Don't worry, don't rush me. Can you see he's trying to steer my interview? It's like I've been invited to him. Do you know what I mean? Am I saying that into the camera? Okay. So, okay. I'm not ready to go to the book yet. I'm not ready for the book yet.
I'm sorry.
So yes, continue with went back to the record label.
So I went back to the record labels. You know, very, very interesting experiences. I mean, I'll just give you one story from Mushroom Records. I was working. I was kind of doing artist kind of liaison with a black female artist, and you know we had some really, really good music, and we were doing a kind of some promotion at Tower Records in Piccadilly Circus.
Wow! When that was
still there. And you know, we went in, and she was there, kind of, you know, taking photographs and signing autographs and everything. And the buyer at Tower Records said to me, "Look, Lindsay, you know, I love your artist, love the song, but you know, if a British black music fan has got £5 in their pocket, they're going to buy an American artist every time."
I'm having to say that through gritted teeth, because I can remember, but still almost to a degree, when we were buying music back in the day, you know, you went into the record shop and was it going to be the Jones Girls or was it going to be Lynx? You know, was it going to be Dexter Wansel or was it going to be the real thing? You kind of...
And now you've got a generation of British black music artists who are kind of going, you know, God, it's really hard to break through. It's really hard to sell music. And it's like, well, the problem is British black music fans, because British black music fans prefer American artists.
You see, this is why I love Lindsay, because he just tells it as it is, blatant, flat. They just prefer it. That's it.
Those are the harsh realities. And it's like, morning, guys. It's like you can be from Peckham, you can be from Clapham, you can be from Leytonstone, you know, you could be making the best music in the world. But, you know, it doesn't matter if you're from Detroit or Chicago or Los Angeles and you're making mediocre nonsense. you know, you'll be put up on a pedestal.
Really?
Oh.
Do you think it's that blatant that you would just prefer something because it's American, not because you think the quality is any different?
This is the history of British black music fans. They put very, very ordinary American artists on a pedestal, and they just don't show enough love for their own.
Okay.
I mean, let's just take one of the greatest albums ever made, you know, the Carol Thompson album.
Oh, my darling, right? Carol.
With Hopelessly in Love and Simply in Love, and, you know, I mean, that is a faultless album.
Yeah, it's flawless.
From start to finish. And it just, she doesn't get enough respect. The album doesn't get enough respect.
It had its 40th anniversary. Was it this year or last year? I think it's 40 years, with her on the front of the Mercedes.
Sitting on a car. I mean, it's a magic album.
My boy does love his reggae music. Big shout to Sherry Class.
Always.
Always. Raymond Blair, present and correct. Great to have you with. So, Lord Wesker.
Yes.
We've got up to which part now? Where have we got up to? Because I'm losing track of stuff here. It's like, we've done Kiss FM. We've done... yeah, so we did Kiss FM.
Yeah, so we did Kiss FM, 3 record labels, and then I was at a loose end, and I saw an advert in the Guardian newspaper, and it said that MTV were looking to create some new television stations. So I applied for that job, and I got a job. MTV in the UK had started kind of moving music videos out of their programming, and, you know, like America had kind of become more of a reality TV station, kind of focusing on Punk'd and Pimp My Ride and Cribs and, you know, the Osbournes,
Catfish and all that,
and Jersey Shore and programs like that. And a lot of people in the UK were kind of saying, hey, you know, where's the M in MTV? So the UK office decided to create some new television stations, some new music video television stations. So I was employed to create a hip-hop and R&B television television station. So I created a station called MTV Base. I created MTV Base in 1999, and that was very successful. And then they asked me to create another television station, so I created MTV Hits, which was kind of a female-focused pop station, and that went really well. So I created another television station called MTV Dance, which was just all the amazing dance music videos from that time, you know, lots of swimming pools and beaches and people not wearing much clothing. And
scantily clad
people,
as we say.
You can't lose. And
now that's interesting, because you created all of these shows, and I know that MTV had a reputation for not playing black music, because you heard many artists speaking on it. So how did you change and turn that around?
Well, that was actually way before my time. I mean, when MTV was created in America, when it was first launched in America, it was actually launched as a rock music television station.
Okay.
Because they didn't know. They had nobody within their organisation who knew about black music.
Right.
So they couldn't really play black music because they didn't have anybody in there who knew about it. But as it became kind of bigger and bigger and bigger, they kind of couldn't resist it. And kind of when Michael Jackson created Beat It, which was kind of rocky, and when Run DMC created Rockbox, which was kind of rocky, they were like, okay, we can do this, we can get into this. So, you know, gradually they began to incorporate more black music.
Right. So you didn't have that fight on your hands by the time you came along?
No. When I joined MTV in 1999, they said to me, create a black music television station.
Right, okay. Yeah, because, I mean, we've all seen, being in the industry, we've all seen the industry interviews with, like, David Bowie speaking on it, Whitney, Michael, you know.
David Bowie in particular was really got up in their faces.
Yeah.
He was brilliant. He was like
a real advocate for it.
Bowie was such an amazing man. He really got up in their faces. And I think people like David really changed things.
Yeah. Now, so we have to go to... From MTV, you also teach, don't you?
I do.
And where do you teach?
I now teach at 2 different places. I teach at the Point Blank Music School, which has a campus in Haggerston, kind of Old Street
area.
Old Street area, yeah. And I also teach at the London College of Contemporary Music, which is in Southwark.
Right.
And they are fantastic
And
institutions.
what are you teaching?
I teach music industry.
Right.
So I teach the students how the music industry works.
And I mean, who better? Because I think you've been in all aspects of it, from journalism to collecting to management to A&R that you didn't even know what you were doing but learnt after.
I know now.
You know now. You know, so who better to have than somebody like you with the multitude of experience, and you've done it in real time, not just been to an institution to study theory.
Well, when I joined the industry in '81, there was this kind of place didn't exist.
You know, so
I had to learn on the job.
You are the pinnacle of teacher, because you've done it in real time. You know from experience, you know from mistakes, you know from successes, and
I mean, in week one of every module, I show them my CV.
Yeah.
And they're like,
so is this our homework? Because it's like 7 pages.
I managed to put it on one slide.
Oh,
and I kind of show it to them, and they're like, what? Like,
well, as you can see, it was only supposed to be an hour, and I'm sitting here going, what? All right. So you're teaching in 2 institutions.
Yeah.
How do you find the time? Because we then have to get to what he's really here for, which he's been kicking me under the table going, when are we going to get to?
I most certainly am not.
How do you find the time? Because, of course, you present as well on the radio as a DJ.
I have
I like to call you a presenter.
I have a joie de vivre. What can I say? I love life, and I'm very fortunate. I have a wonderful life. Happy wife, happy life, you know.
Apparently so. Here's D-Train. So Mr. Wesker, he's so popular. He's got messages coming through and no producer for him to answer his messages, so he's having to do it himself. So you went from all of that, and I want to know how you got back into DJ presenting, or did that never go?
No, that was all happening at the same time. I mean, while I was at MTV, Gordon contacted me, and he was working on a radio station called Colourful Radio.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
And a whole pile of us went to Colourful. I mean, the people at Colourful wanted Gordon to just kind of resurrect their fortunes. They'd launched and they weren't really doing that well. So
right.
They hired Gordon to kind of put them on the map.
Okay.
And Gordon did what Gordon does. I mean, he's got a million friends in the club and radio world. So he recruited all of us, and we all came to Colourful. And all of a sudden, the station was absolutely popping. And we had a lot of great functions, and the station numbers were up, and it was really, really doing well. And then Gordon decided to create, his own thing, My Soul, and that's, the rest is history, and we're all there.
Because it did seem that like you were all at Colourful, even DJs that now aren't at My Soul. It seemed that everybody had migrated from, Elaine, Jazzy Q, HB, as well as you guys. You were all there.
Yeah, I mean, when Gordon created his own thing, he commands an enormous amount of respect, and everybody knows him and trusts him. So, when he said he was creating his own thing, they were like, yeah, where is it?
Well, I guess you had the history with him from Kiss and saw what he did there.
Well, I mean, I met Gordon in 1982.
I wasn't born yet.
When I was at Echoes. I met him at Echoes. I mean, when I met him at Echoes, he was just, he was just a club DJ, just running lots of functions all around South London. He had a girlfriend who was a hairdresser, and he had a different hairstyle every time I saw him.
He was kind of a guinea pig.
He was, literally. He loved it. I was there at Black Echoes with my Canon Sure shot, and I was taking photos of everybody. And he went, "Oh yeah, Lindsay, I love it. I know you're coming to my club. I'm going to have a new hairstyle for you."
New hairstyle for you personally?
Well, he didn't want to look the same in all his photos.
Absolutely not. Why would you? That's why I work with the glasses and hats. You see, so you got a bit of a change up behind the camera. Here's Gladys Knight and the Pips. When You're Far Away, big tune. So we have to get to the point that we are here for, because he's like, okay, is this going to go on much longer?
I am not like that.
The book. Let's hear it.
You paint me out to be such a monster.
Absolutely not. Nobody that knows you, stop being a drama queen. Nobody that knows you thinks that you're a monster. Drink some water. Calm down.
Thank you.
So the book. So in spite of all of that, now he's added author to the list. Come on. It's absurd, Lindsay. It's absurd. You make me leave talking to you feeling inadequate.
Oh, for goodness sake. Listen, I'm dragging you into my show. Yeah, you're going to do my show. Huh? It's going to be the A to Z of Barrie Thomas, definitely.
You know that blue light I spoke about earlier? I think it's just come.
Yeah, you're coming onto my show. We're gonna get your top 20 tunes of all time and your life story, definitely.
Okay, if you say so. Back to the point in hand. Let's get some order in this room, please. Okay. So the book.
Yeah, I've written a book which is called "The Mistakes I Made and How to Avoid Making Them."
And it's the second book, but we're not talking about the first one. We're only talking about
the fifth one, actually.
You see, I'm behind. I can't keep up. You're making me feel even more inadequate. I thought there were only two. Now I hear there are five.
And the fifth one is many things. Right. It is many things. Obviously, it's a book about mistakes, the mistakes I've made. But it's a book about how to get into the industry. Right.
The music industry in general, any particular
music media. You know, how to get into. Right. Because obviously, I started as a music journalist, so it's how to get in and how to stay in. Even though I've been made redundant 6 times, I am still in the music industry. I've been in the music industry 44 years. So so
he doesn't look old enough. Actually, he really doesn't look old enough.
So it's a book about how to get in and a book about how to stay in. And I've made a lot of mistakes, so hopefully people will look at my mistakes, learn from my mistakes.
But what's quite nice is that, you know, you can openly and candidly say you've made mistakes, which is extremely generous, because only real people want to talk about the mistakes they've made rather than just, well, I glided like a swan through life, looking graceful and fabulous all the way through and to where I am today. So, you know, you need that honesty and generosity to be candid and say, well, I made mistakes. Don't do them. Don't follow my example.
I really did. And the principal mistake I made, numero uno mistake, the number one mistake I made, and I think this is the same for pretty much everybody. There is a kind of point in your life, you're kind of presented with a kind of crossroads. Yeah. And you could go this way and you could go that way. And it's a pivotal moment and it's a pivotal decision in your life. And sometimes you make the right decision. Yeah. And you go the right way. But I know there are so many people who wish they'd gone that way, you know.
Yeah, but there's nothing wrong with turning back.
True.
There's nothing wrong with turning back. Where it becomes dark is when you think, oh, I've got this way and I got to persist with this route, even though I'm now in a forest and I can't drive the car, but I'm still going to keep going. You can do a U-turn.
True.
You know? True. Anyway, we're going to have the last few minutes of one of my favourite tracks, Bridge, Don't Hold My Love Back. And then we're going to the break and more from this man. Am I going to get any cheek about my guilty pleasure by the wonderful Stephen Bishop?
I love
On
it.
And On.
Absolutely love it. What a fantastic song.
Thank you.
And of course, Aswad had the very good taste to cover it.
Yeah. But when it's a worry is when people think Aswad's is the original.
Oh, no.
That's why you have to go, no, we'll have a little history lesson here. This is Stephen Bishop. Okay. Oh, well, I think I'm going to do a version excursion, actually. And bring Aswad on after.
Okay.
But in the meantime, we are going to speak a bit more about your book.
Is it my turn?
Oh, it's your turn. It's always your turn. It's your interview. So, you know, as we saw earlier, he put me in my place. No, can you just be quiet for a minute? I want to talk about this. Okay, Lindsay.
So the book is about mistakes, but the book is also about, you know, as I said, when I joined Black Echoes, quite a significant moment in British black music history. And it's quite interesting that Chris Hill passed away last week.
Yeah, I mean, he was one of the foundation stones of. Oh.
Well, when I joined the music industry, there were these people. It was a bunch of white guys, you know. It was a bunch of white guys, right? They were the the mafia.
Yeah.
They were the dons.
Froggy.
They were the dons of the industry. So it was basically Chris Hill, Robbie Vincent, Froggy, Pete Tong, Jeff Young, Sean French, Tom Holland, Chris Brown. You know, it was basically... And Greg Edwards would sometimes kind of get in there.
But, you know, in the industry, there were a lot of reasons that it was predominantly white guys and not...
Well, I mean, the kind of... The stars of the British black music industry, club-wise, the club DJs, who were the real stars, were guys from Essex and Kent, Surrey, Sussex. You know, they were kind of home counties guys. And it was quite weird, really, because in the centre of London, you had Owen Washington, you had Cleveland Anderson, you had Paul Trouble Anderson, you had Norman Jay, you had Trevor Nelson. You had all these black guys who weren't... You know, you had the Soul to Soul sound system, you had the Mastermind Roadshow. You had all these black guys in the centre of London who weren't really receiving as much love as all of these white guys from the home counties. And Blues and Soul was like reverential. They were like, you know, hail, hail. They were reverential about these mafia DJs, and there was absolutely no love at all for these guys in central London. So I kind of really upset the apple cart when I joined Black Echoes, because I began writing about these guys. Obviously, there were a lot of really, really good kind of white DJs as well, you know, like Gordon Mack, like Steve Walsh, like Tim Westwood, like David Rodigan. And you know, it's like there was a lot of people who weren't being written about.
This is the thing. It's not that they weren't great white DJs. They were. But they were also great black DJs that weren't getting the recognition, and they knew the music better than most. But, you know, for what was going on in the industry at the time, we know why that would be.
Well, part of the book also recounts a story. I had a conversation with a guy called Dave VJ, and I did a book with Dave VJ called Masters of the Airwaves, which was a history of sort of British black music radio. And I was reminiscing about the Royalty in Southgate. And I used to go to the Royalty in Southgate. You know, there I would hear the monster...
The best sound system ever.
Froggy
with
Road
Froggy.
Show. Yeah, the Monster Road Show. And I remember going into Royalty in Southgate with my girlfriend, and I remember hearing Stomp by the Brothers Johnson. And it was
used to do that mix of the two of them together.
Man, it sounded so good. And Dave said to me, well, I'm glad you got good memories of the Royalty, because me and my mates couldn't get in.
I struggle with that. I really struggle with that. But I mean, everybody's experience is their experience. But my entire club life was in the West End from the age of 13, from Crackers, from 100 Club, from Jaffers, Horseshoe, you know, the Electric Ballroom. So when I'm hearing these people saying they couldn't get in, I'm thinking, well, why couldn't you get in? WAG, Café de Paris, Legends, Titanic.
I think you were probably very, very stylishly dressed.
Absolutely. That goes without saying, doesn't it?
And they would have looked at you and would have thought fashion industry.
Yeah, which was true.
Right. So you weren't, you know, just an ordinary looking guy. You were a pretty special looking guy. You know, you were impeccably dressed, fashionably dressed. They would have looked at you and gone, fashion industry, we can let him in.
Okay, but not at the age of 14. Well, maybe, yeah.
I'm fairly certain Barrie Thomas,
maybe,
at the age of 14, was impeccably dressed.
But anyway, back to the book. Never mind my dress sense.
So you know, it was a period of time, wasn't it? You know, it was like clubs playing the best black music around, you know, Roy Ayers and Donald Byrd and, you know, Teddy Pendergrass. And, you know, a lot of black guys standing on the outside on the street trying to get in, and they couldn't get in.
Yeah.
So it was a kind of strange time. And one of the things I think that broke that down was pirate radio, and the pirate radio stations really didn't care who you were, you know, what you looked like, you know, your colour, your sexuality or anything. It's like, you love the music, you are welcome. Come in. And that was one of the best things about pirate radio, you know. Yeah. All of those stations really broke down a lot of barriers.
Yeah, definitely. So the book is available
via Amazon. I put a link on your page.
Okay, guys, so go to my page and check it out. It's never too late if you want to get into the music industry. It's never too late. Well, listen, I'm in it, so he's still in it. There's hope yet. Oh, here are the OJs. Okay, you know me and my Philly. You know me and my Philly, okay? You know it. I take it in the veins. I take it in the veins. The OJs put our heads together. Well, No, I keep making that mistake. Lord Lindsay Wesker, great to have you with us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming. All the best with the 5 books. There was me thinking it was only 2, but all the best with the 5 books.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Lovely to be here.
Now you're scaring me. He said that he wants to interview me.
It's going to happen.
That's what he thinks. I think whatever dates he presents, oh God, I've got something on that day actually.
You'll be busy.
I'll be hiding under the bed. Thank you so much, Lindsay. Always great to see you. Have a great Sunday.
Thank you so much.